I'm using sustained thumb pressure and palm pressure, and my focus is on the nervous system.
You're always in fight or flight. It's exhausting because if you're always here and you're just not, present. So I'm glad you talked about the fight or flight. Hi, everyone. Shaelene McInnis here, Books in Line for taxes and bookkeeping needs, and also publisher and editor for the Ontario Wellness Magazine, Ontario Wellness Network. Digital magazine, absolutely free, and we cover everything to do with wellness. Just as a brief reminder, I've realized that after COVID, we really need to focus on wellness. And I think the next person that I'm recording, Raissa, who is a very dear friend of mine who I've known for a very long time, has been promoting wellness much longer than me, for many, many more years, longer than me. And this is someone that if you're thinking you need some self-care, and I go on and on and on about self-care, this is the person that I would like you to speak with. She's amazing. She has helped me very much so, and also my daughters. And I've just before we started this recording, I was saying to her, I'd like my daughters and I to come out and see you again, because I think it's really important for our personal wellness. And Raissa, I'm going to ask Raissa to introduce herself first. Go ahead, Raissa, please tell us all about you.
Thank you, Shaelene. It's lovely to be here. So yes, my name is Raissa Chernushenko, and I have been a certified Shiatsu therapist for almost 30 years now, so 29 and a half. Mm-hmm. And during that time, I've had my eyes completely opened to the fact that the world is so very touch deprived. In fact, in the first years of my practice, I was seeing seniors who had never had something as simple as a foot rub their whole lives. And then shortly after that, I came across the opportunity to study becoming an infant massage instructor. And yes, in the news during that time, there was a lot of focus on elder abuse and child abuse, yes, and sexual abuse. And I thought, oh my gosh, the mission of the Infant Massage Association is to promote the idea that every infant has the right to loving bonds, that early childhood bonds through unconditional love, no matter their race, their socioeconomic status, no religion. And so I thought, wow, what a wonderful way to start helping to heal this world is right at the very beginning, right from the start, encouraging parents to implement this practice, this tradition into their own parenting traditions. And in fact, is a tradition, or has been historically for hundreds of years in cultures all around the world.
Yes.
The Western culture of experts has completely robbed us of our instincts and told us, no, we know the best way to raise your child. We know the best, whether it's let them cry it out or co-sleeping or not sleeping. So the Infant Massage Association is about helping you to trust your own gut and your own instinct, knowing that you know your child best.
Haven't we moved away from that, what you just said? You're so completely right. I remember I have two daughters, 15 and 13. I wish I knew you 15 years ago because the infant massage, you're right. Everyone's trying to be the expert and tell you what you should and shouldn't do. But isn't it nice to know that, the importance of touch. Now, I know I've read many studies about infant massage helping with things like colic, right? I've read so much about that kind of thing. So I really like that. And then I want to talk about, you said about touch deprived, like especially throughout life, whether you're an infant or seniors. Can we talk to the seniors part of that?
For sure. Well, I mean, there are stages. In fact, I once attended a panel where they had done some research indicating that the most touch deprived members of our society are in fact teenage boys. But then again, and look at how much aggression there is there, right? So my thought is, if we could just get them more comfortable with, unconditional love through touch, and maybe there wouldn't be that need to express themselves so physically and roughly and in a more of a bullying manner. So that's an interesting thought or
Yeah,
perspective.
yeah,
But yes, definitely when it comes to seniors. In fact,
yeah.
I heard an appalling statistic recently that Durham region is one of the highest in Ontario, if not Canada, for elder abuse.
Uh,
Um, so I don't know, that's not necessarily physical, it could be
oh
psychological,
yes,
emotional.
financial, right?
Mhm.
I'm do bookkeeping and taxes. I know that I have had concerns about some of the seniors that I do work with, and I've had to report that because, yeah, no, you're right. Financial senior abuse, I can speak to that. Can't necessarily speak to the other types of
Mhm.
abuse to seniors, but I absolutely agree. I am an advocate for seniors. I write about it all the time about how come we're marginalizing. We're such an ageist society, and you know, expecting our seniors to pay, to put their own groceries through at the grocery store. I'm like just beyond myself.
Yeah, again, look, there's so many cultures around the world that revere their elders. You reach a certain age and
Yes,
you are the wise
yes,
ones. You are revered and for your experience
yes.
and your knowledge. But yeah, here we kind of just, if not, if not, if not necessarily abuse them, but neglect. There are a lot of
Yes, I
seniors
would say
living
neglect.
alone.
Yeah.
Especially, I was concerned during COVID about the number
Oh,
of
yes.
seniors living alone who were not getting touched at all by anyone.
No, no.
So that was very upsetting for me. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I remember when I was in university, there was a student from China studying, and what she said was she was just shocked at the way seniors are treated. She said it was nothing like where she was from, and I agree. I'm very disappointed with things like that because I think it should be completely different. But we'll go about that. I would
Yeah.
like to speak to Shiatsu, just so everyone knows. I've had treatments with Raissa. It has been amazing, and so have my children. And if you're the really great thing about it is you can go through these treatments completely clothed. So you're clothed, wear loose clothing, so that you can be stretched and stuff. But if you're a person who's not comfortable going for massage, and taking off your clothes or something, it's completely where you're wearing your clothes. And then the treatment, and she does the treatment. It feels so amazing. If I was living closer to you, I'd be like your once a week client. Oh no, probably twice a
Yeah.
week client. I would like that's me.
Yeah.
Now the
And
other
there's
one,
no oils used too.
the other
That's
thing I'd
why
like,
you can remain in clothing.
well, a full disclosure, I asked Race a few years ago and to come into the office and speak with the staff, all the employees, because we are all sitting in front of computers. And she did an entire workshop on how to make sure you're stretching the parts of your body that need to be stretched and how to stretch them. When you're a person who works at a computer all day, it was actually wonderful. My employees still do a lot of the exercises that you showed. Yes, they do. Yes,
Really.
they do. um, Now, I know your other focus is on breast health. So I would really like to talk about breast health again because we're so focused on wellness, and I think that this is something that, especially during COVID, we may have all neglected breast health.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm going to
I
ask you
did
to
want to
speak to
just
that.
get back, just in case your listeners are confused and don't really know what shiatsu is. Can I just um,
Yes.
specify briefly that it is not a massage type movement. I'm using sustained thumb pressure and palm pressure, and my focus is on the nervous system. And with all this
Yes.
talk these days about vagus system and dysregulation, that's what makes shiatsu the ideal um, tool for this. Learning it on yourself or receiving it, is it
Oh,
helps
yes.
bring balance to your immune system, get you out of fight or flight mode and into rest,
Uh,
digest, and restore mode.
It,
So
it's interesting you said fight or flight because COVID, I think, has really put a lot of people into that fight or flight mode. So you're always in fight or it's exhausting because if you're always here and you're just not, present. So I'm glad you talked about the fight or flight. Yeah. So please go ahead, tell us about the work
so
with
what
breast health.
sure. So what led me into that field was, gosh, now about it's got to be about 17 years ago now. I discovered my medical doctor at the time thought, oh, you're at the age where she goes for a routine mammogram, but she probably didn't have too many nursing 42-year-olds in her practice. So I got home and I went, nursing my baby once a day. I should probably have a mammogram. And so I had happened to have come across this information on medical thermography, which is, have you ever seen those pictures that are like green and red and yellow
Yep.
images of the body? Yeah. So thermography was a new way, or not new way, but it was a way I discovered that I could get a diagnostic, well, it's a tool. It's not necessarily a diagnostic tool, but it's an exploratory tool. So it's showing where there are changes in vascularization. So where there may be new vessels, blood vessels growing that could be feeding a cyst or a tumor, etc. And it can pick up on things up to 10 years earlier than a mammogram can show things.
Oh,
I asked
really?
my doctor if it was okay if I did that instead. She said, being very open-minded, she said, sure, just I don't know anything about it. Send me some information. So I did discover that I had a cyst in one breast, and I didn't want to freak out. And then, well, then I was
Yeah.
sent for the thermography showed that there was a change in one breast, so it was a difference in one side or the other. Then referring me to ultrasound confirmed there was a cyst. So with the help of
Right.
my naturopath, and I happen to have also come across the work of Satdaram Kaur, who's the founder of the Mammal Eye Foundation for Breast Health and Education. She had
Yep.
written a book called The Complete Natural Guide to Breast Cancer. So using exercises from that, working with my naturopath, using homeopathy and herbal tinctures, and eating a really clean diet. So no alcohol, no dairy, no fried
Red
foods,
meat.
processed
Yeah.
foods, etc.
Yeah.
for 3 months. And then I was doing lymphatic dry brushing. I was doing breast massage using essential oil. So who knows which, or if any or all of these worked, but I went
Yes.
in 3 months later, I went back and it was gone. It was clear, it was normal on both sides
Right.
of the thermography. So that was my real aha moment where I realized, oh my gosh, women don't have to just sit back and wait for their name to be called in the breast cancer bingo. We have a lot
Yeah.
more power than we think in helping to reduce
Yes.
our risks for breast cancer. Sadly, in
Yeah.
this ever increasingly toxified world, it's becoming more, it's more challenging, but there are so many ways in which we
Yes.
can make daily steps. And so that's what
I,
then
yeah.
became studied the program. It became a breast health educator.
Well, I think that's amazing and desperately needed because what you just said, I didn't know a lot of what you're talking about, of course, until I started talking to you, but I certainly didn't know a lot of what you're talking about with the massage and the oils and everything else and eating certain foods. And so now I know you have a website. Is it a Facebook page, I think, where you're publishing about breast healthy tips?
Yes. Well, I have well my own Facebook page, but I'm as a member of the Mammal Eye Foundation. There's also a Mammal Eye Foundation for Breast Health and Education page on Facebook. You can
Mhm.
also go, there are two websites, one which is more about the program, and then one which is more the nonprofit. So there's www.mammalive.net, where you can find yourself the top handout for the top 12 breast
Yes.
tips,
Mhm.
and then an explanation about the program and the 12 module program we teach. Then there's also mammalivefoundation.org, in which we publish the top 31 breast health tips for the month of October. So a tip a
Mhm.
day for the month of October. I'm not sure if our mailing list is, you can still sign up for a mailing list there. If not, you can actually see in the drop down menu all 31 of the tips along with some
Yeah.
graphics. And
Wonderful.
just last year, I added to it and did the top 30 environmental tips, which I published in April for conjunction with Earth Month.
Excellent. I'm going to include those in the next Ontario Wellness Network magazine. Absolutely, because I think this is so important and it's so not talked about. This is the other thing is breast health. Anything to do with breasts is not talked about. Like it's
It's
just,
it's very challenging. Yeah, there's the
mm,
fear, and that's one of the things that the message I'd like to get across to women more is, number one, they have more power over their breast health than they think, as I've already addressed.
yes,
Number
yes,
two, we don't need to be as afraid of our breasts as we are. We don't need to be so afraid of regularly examining them, because
yes.
even if you do find something, 80% of the time it's benign.
Right.
And then the third thing that I wanted to emphasize to people is because the rate of breast cancer is steadily increasing in the world, it behooves us, as we like in the Mam Life Foundation, we like to liken ourselves to um, stewards for this earth, right? The health of the planet is
Yes,
reflected in the health of our breasts
I
because we
believe that to
absorb
be.
so much from the cosmetics to the air pollution, water pollution, stuff in our food. So yeah, that's we of all people should be stewards for this planet as women.
Yes. I
Mhm.
think that's wonderful to say that. And what you said was right. Women are afraid. We're afraid, to examine our own breast because we're afraid. What if we do find a lump? What if? What if? What if? But what you're saying is right. We need to do this to help everyone, to help all of us. And yeah, I really, really appreciate this. Just so that everyone knows, I will be absolutely positive to include everything about Race and how to contact her and her Facebook links and all of her information. I'll be including that with this podcast. But Race, if someone wants to get hold of you, can you just tell us verbally how they can get hold of you specifically, whether it's for breast health, shiatsu, touch deprivation discussions, anything at all?
Yeah, you can email, well, you can visit my website, www.hand2heartbeing, all words, no numbers, hand2heartbeing.com. And
Hand to heart being.
yeah, and my email address is Raissa at hand2heartbeing.com. And if I have a phone number in there, I still have a good old fashioned landline. So
Yeah.
you can have a chat, and you can also find me on Facebook at also hand to heart healing, hand to heart being.com.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Now, and if anyone needs to get hold of Raissa, and if you can't get through any of these other ways, or you can always come through Books in Line, and we are happy to set up the introduction between you and Raissa. She's a wonderful person who has supported health, mental health, physical health, spiritual health for so many years. She's someone that I think is an amazing person and well worth meeting in person. Thank you,
Well, thank
Raisa,
you so
very
much.
much. So, thank you everyone for listening, and absolutely contact Raisa. And I think we should be doing a whole workshop on breast health, and I'm happy to host that, by the way. But you run it, I'll just host it.
Okay, super.
Thank you so much, Raisa. Thank you, everyone. And I hope you learned a lot from this because I know that I did today. Thanks so much. Thank you.